Hi guys, welcome to Python tutorial. In this session, I'm going to explain variables in Python. First, let us see what is meant by variable. Variable is a name which is given for the memory location. What it means is, I am going to define a value variable a equal to 30. That means the variable name a, which is going to represent the address of where the value 30 is going to be stored. Now let us look at how in the case of Python how it is going to work out. I'm going to open the Python IDE. Now I'm going to explain this concept in the interactive mode only. Now let us see. I'm going to define variable a equal to 10. Now I print value of a. If you see here 10, what it means is, now what interpreter or ideally it has done is, first it will look for the what is the variable. Variable is associated to the particular address. Now it will compiler or interpreter will look for what is the address associated to this particular variable a, and it will look for what is the value stored under this address, and it will retrieve that value it printed here. Now if I again change this, if I assign the different value for the variable a, this time if I again print the value, it is going to return 30, because as I said, at any point of time a variable can hold single value. It cannot hold the multiple values at a time. And as its name implies, that variable is nothing but this value can change at any point of time. Now, as per the basic level of understanding about the variables, Python we can classify variables into two types. One is global variables and another one is the local variable. First, let us look at what is meant by global variable. Global variable is a variable which is going to define outside of the function basically. Then that is called as a global variable. Now I'm going to write a small program. Here I am defining a equal to 10, and I'll print this value of a, and I'll print this value. Okay, now let me save this program as variable demo, and I want to store this in the programs files. Okay, now if I run this program, we can directly see that value of a is 10. Now this is called as a global variable. Now what is meant by local variable is a variable which is defined inside the function is called as a local variable. How to define a function is def, and we can specify the function name here, and here again I define same variable with the different value I am going to assign, and I print this value of a inside test. I print a. In order to call this function, you can directly call from the outside, and then what I'm going to do is I am again printing the end of the program value of a. I'll print the value of a again. Now if you see here, the a which is defined outside of the function, which is called as a global variable. Hence what happens is, this variable scope have complete program, but as we define a local variable a equal to 30, then within this scope of this particular function, the value of a is going to be 30. Now let us run this program and we can see the output. Value of 10, this is the global variable, and if you see the I define a same variable inside the method, inside the function. then it has a precedence is given for the local variable. And once after the this function executed, again I printed the one more statement. Still I am going to get the value of a is 10. Hence, from this program, we can see that any variable which you are defined outside of the function, it has the global scope. This can be accessed anywhere. And let us consider, even if I don't, let us consider I am removing the local variable from here. Now, if I run this program everywhere, the value of a is going to be 10. Because if you don't define any local variable with the same name, then the whatever the global variable value it is there, it can access. But if you provide any local variable with the same name of the global, then the precedency will be given for the local variable. Okay, so the next concept is we need to remember few points whenever we are declaring the defining the variables. And one important point about the Python is, if you talk about the C, C++ or the Java, before you are declaring, before you are using any variable in the program, we have to declare it first. After that only you have to use it. But in Python, you no need to declare the variable. Directly you can define whenever you want to use the particular variable, you can define that variable. But whenever you are creating a variable name, you need to remember that we should never create variable name with the keywords. That means there are some reserved words which are available as part of the Python programming language. We should never create a variable name same as the keyword. And second one is, we cannot define any variable which is going to start with the number. And you can define a variable variable with a, underscore character is allowed. That means you can define underscore test underscore input. This is a valid variable name. And one test is not the valid variable name. Test one is a valid variable name. And also you can start with a underscore test is a valid variable name. Okay. So we need to careful about whenever you are defining a variable, you should not be same as the keyword or the reserved words which are available as part of the programming language. Hope you clear with the concept of variables in Python. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.